It's Beer O'Clock here in London, and this is the Beer O'Clock show, where every week we take a selected beer and discuss its various merits and engage in some light-hearted, beer-related banter. My name is Mark, and joining me from the county that is home to the oldest door in England is my beer mentor Steve. Knock knock.
Who's there?
It's me, you silly man.
Oh, gosh. Sorry, that was so being lined up for a gag there. I thought it was a new feature we was doing a gag.
No, I'm not that clever. How's it going?
It's good, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Excellent.
We've had an interesting week in beer this week. Well, you have really.
Yes, I have.
You headed off to a gig sponsored by Hobgoblin. And I believe you took the time to sample, following our discussion last week of ale in a can, Hobgoblin in a can.
I did, yes.
How did you find it, mate?
I've got to say I wasn't impressed with Hobgoblin in a can. I just thought it just tasted like beer. It lost all of those dark, rich, malty flavours that we were talking about last week, the dark roasted flavours, and it was quite literally like chugging beer out of a can.
So were you drinking it straight from the can?
I was. I wonder if that might have not helped, actually, thinking about it. But I was at a party, and there didn't seem to be many glasses on offer.
Right.
But it was on special offer in Sainsbury's, so I've got another 4. And I might, just to do it justice, just do one of those out of a glass and see if it does taste any different. But I wasn't impressed with it straight out of the can.
Yeah, I wonder if not being able to breathe like a can out of a glass, whether that affects it.
Yeah, maybe.
What other beers have you had this week? Because I've not had anything other than the personal assignment that we'll get to in a little while.
Okay, well, I did the Hobgoblins at the weekend, and then, as you mentioned, last night I was at a gig which was sponsored by Hobgoblin, and I got to meet the Hobgoblin himself, which was awesome. But even better than that, the Hobgoblin was £1.50 a pint.
Nice.
Yes. £1.50 for a pint of Hobgoblin, which was straight out of the barrel as well, and that was different to out of the bottle, because there was less carbonation as you would expect, but it still had those dark malty rich flavours that we spoke about last week. But as I say, at £1.50 a pint, I was actually dumbfounded as to why there were still lager boys paying £3.50 for a pint of Carlsberg when there was Hobgoblin at £1.50 a pint.
What's the ABV on a pint of Carlsberg?
It's about 3-point-something%, isn't it? Or something ridiculous like that.
So was this the Hobgoblin last night? Was that the 4%?
It was. It was 4.5%.
Okay, so
as opposed to the 5.2.
Not much different in that and the Carling then, apart from the fact that it doesn't taste like piss.
Yeah, and it was drunk by real men, as opposed to.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah, and I'm using the phrase "lager boys" because that's what the Hobgoblin himself was saying last night. He was having a go at all the lager boys. It's on their cans. It's on the cans now about lager boys. If you don't like our beer, go back to being a lager boy. I think they're taking some of that angst from Brewdog, and they're taking the "if you don't like our beer, fuck you" approach.
Well, funny you mentioned Brewdog, because we had a comment on the website for episode 11, which was our Brewdog Punk IPA episode. It's from Rich of the Beercast, which is another beery podcast from Edinburgh. And he says, I've not heard Punk IPA described as bland before. The reason it tasted differently to how you remembered from a couple of years ago is that they changed the recipe, amending the malt bill to shore it up, and have used different hops in the past.
Ah, so we can feel suitably educated now.
Yes, thank you very much, Rich.
Still tastes like shit, though.
It still tastes like shit.
So sorry, this way we're going here. This week's show is going to need an 18 rating.
I know. Okay, let's move swiftly on. Was there any other beers that you've had this week?
There was.
Hobgoblin?
There was, and there was a few that I actually want to talk about as well.
Okay.
So just going back over them, I had one which was called Meteor, which was a French blonde It advertised itself as a French craft beer, but it was essentially a lager. But by all accounts, it was from the oldest brewery in France. Still didn't taste like anything other than a lager. I did a Prodigal Son by Williams Brothers Brewing Company, which we've spoke about before. And then last night I found myself in a Wetherspoon pub as well, which had pretty much all of the beers I've been searching for as part of their current beer festival. And Wetherspoons at the moment are doing this great deal where you can buy 3/3 of pints for $2.99, so you can sample more of the beers that they've got on offer.
Beer shots.
So, yeah, essentially beer shots, and you get them on a little tray, and there's a little mat on the tray that your glasses sit on, and the barman writes which number they are as well, and then they give you the guide, and you can do all your tasting notes and everything.
Oh wow, we're definitely doing that on the weekend.
Yeah, we are definitely doing that on the weekend. So last night I sampled the one I'd been after was the 3.5 Session Ale by the Avery Brewing Company. Now, the reason I've been after this is because the Avery Brewing Company are from America, and they've sent their brewers over, and this particular beer is a collaboration with Adnans. So their brewers have been up to the Adnans brewery, and they've jointly brewed this beer. It was lovely. Yeah, again, shock. There's Steve's complimenting Adnams beer. But it was absolutely lovely. It's as its name says, it's a 3.5% beer, but it was just so light but so well hopped. I've never tasted such hops in a 3.5% ale before. So if we can find that at the weekend, I've got to introduce you to that one. So that was a real winner for me. I then did Fisherman by Adnams, which is an older beer of theirs, which they've brought back specifically for this year's Autumn Beer Festival with Wetherspoon. That was a very, very dark beer, so darker than the Hobgoblin. First thing you got from it on the aroma was licorice. And you got that coming through in the taste as well, but really smooth, a really smooth, tasty, dark beer. I then did one by the Tree Brewing Company, which are a Canadian concern, and this was a Thirsty Beaver Amber Ale, which was really malty and sweet on its tastes, and again, another one that I'd highly recommend. And then I had a pint of Devil's Advocate, which was by the Caledonian Brewery, who I believe we spoke about last week, which are actually Heineken UK. But this was a black lager.
Wow.
So it's definitely not your normal lager, but it was so easy to drink and so smooth. So that they were 4 of the beers that I managed to sample from the current Wetherspoons Beer Fest, shortly before I got on what could only be called a Hobgoblin Fest last night.
You got on the Hobgoblin train last night.
I properly got on the Hobgoblin train last night, yeah.
Very good.
So yeah, would highly... Oh, and I did the Wild Hop Gold, which I'm going to be reviewing in a minute anyway, by Harvestoon. So it's been very much a Hobgoblin-fueled week, which is only right for this time of the year, seeing as we're still in that Halloween period.
Yeah.
But would also highly recommend those few beers from the current Wetherspoon Beer Festival.
Very good. I'm looking forward to that.
Should be good.
As we'll talk about later, we are meeting up on the weekend, which is going to be good fun. Personal assignments. Last week, as you said, you had Harvestoon's Wild Hop Gold, while I had Joseph Holt's Maple Moon. I'll go first because I can't remember much about my beer. All I remember was that it was okay. I found it wasn't terribly rich, but it was rich enough. It wasn't unpleasant, but it had that like a bitter malt taste to it. Not really up my street. I can honestly say I'm not really finding what I really like, but I am finding what I dislike, but not in a bad way. Yeah. I'm finding things that aren't necessarily my taste, but that, unfortunately, I was hoping it would be a real mapley taste to it, but unfortunately I didn't get that from the bottle.
It's fine to sort of work out the ones that you don't like, because it's nice to have a range of beers that you do like.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in any given situation where you're in a supermarket and you've only got a selection, or you're in a bar and there's only a selection, at least you know what you like, and you can go for those.
Yeah. So that's my review of the Maple Moon. Wild Hop Gold, mate.
Yes.
What's your formal review of that particular?
Well, it's a golden pale ale by Harveststone. It was put out for the Sainsbury's Great British Beer Hunt, but also again it's currently featuring in the Wetherspoon Beer Festival as well in selected Wetherspoons. So that's off tap. But I was drinking it out of the bottle, and out of the bottle it was light golden, as you'd expect from the title. Well carbonated and poured with a relatively small head. Had in terms of aromas, what you'd call a very outsidey sort of aroma, so fresh, sort of outsidey smells, and strong hoppy earthiness to it as well. In terms of the tasting, nicely bitter, strong, really strong hops coming through, and a nice spicy aftertaste as well. And also, I've used this phrase in previous episodes, but it had that craft beer taste to it as well.
Yeah.
That you get from the hops. So really right up my street in terms of the actual taste that's going on in there. In terms of drinking, really easy to drink, really smooth, very refreshing, very Moorish. You could easily do a couple of them, and the evening would pass you by quite merrily. So in summary, I'd say it's a well hopped beer, refreshing golden pale ale with a pleasant lingering aftertaste, and I'm going to give it 4 stars.
What's the ABV on that?
Oh, now you're asking.
In the 4s?
Okay, so the Harvesttown Wild Hop Gold is 4.4%, surprisingly. So actually quite a low ABV. So you, like I say, you could actually quite easily drink a few of those without even really feeling them, probably.
Because I got what's the Harvesttown one? Bitter and Twisted. I've managed to pick up yesterday.
Oh,
which you've gone on about for a while. So I'm looking forward to tasting that.
Yep, one of my top 5 beers.
Yeah, I think I might make that my personal assignment for the next week.
Nice.
So I can report back so people get a balanced view of this beer. But going on,
just harping on about how great it is.
Yeah, and I could turn up next week saying it just tasted like beer.
Yeah. True Mark style.
And that's when we part ways.
Yeah. There'll be no season 2.
Anyway, on to this week's featured review, which is the Bath Ales Gem. Now, I got this out of a gift pack that I bought in John Lewis, purely to get the pint glass that comes with it, which I am drinking my beer out of tonight. And Steve managed to get one in his local supermarket under one of his many special favourite beer deals that they do.
I do love a deal.
Yeah. Now, this is on the label. Jim has a rich aroma of hops and malt with a long, deep, bitter-sweet finish. An exceptional best bitter. Brewed using floor-malted Maris Otter barley and Goldings hops from East Kent. So, I'm expecting a hoppy malty beer.
Really? We'll get that way.
Yeah, the label really sells it, doesn't it?
I've just poured mine, and I'm really surprised by the colour of it.
Oh, okay, I'm pouring mine now.
Because I would say that's almost hobgoblin-like in colour.
Wow.
I was expecting something a lot lighter than that.
So was I.
That's a real shocker, that one.
Yeah, that's a rich coppery colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, very bubbly as well.
Yeah.
Check out the carbonation on that. I mean, the bubbles are settling around the edges. It's bubbling up in the middle. But yeah, that's surprising.
So your special glass that you're drinking it out of, is it a standard pint glass or is it a shaped glass?
It is a shaped goblety type glass.
Nice.
I'll take a photo of it.
Take a photo of it and put it up on the Facebook page so we can all see it.
I'll clear some shit away from my desk.
There's a rating again.
I do apologise for my language.
Oh, that's rich.
Alright, let's get into this.
Oh,
now,
cheers.
This is 4.8% ABV, so I'm not expecting it to be too tough. considers itself a premium amber ale. So let's have a go. Ooh, the smell of it is very nice.
It's quite a malty, fruity smell, isn't it? That you're getting off of it.
Yeah, very hoppy, malty taste to it as well. Oh, that's nice.
That is nice. You can imagine sitting outside a pub in the summer and drinking that, and it being actually quite a refreshing beer, despite its colour.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's got that strong malt that we had with the last week's Hobgoblin, but there's... I don't know. It kind of fades away to like a weaker edge, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, there's no lingering aftertaste on that. It's it refreshes, and it refreshes the palate as it goes down as well.
Yeah, I mean, the hops hang around for a little bit afterwards, but you don't have that continual bite of the malts.
It's an interesting one. It's leaving some flavours there actually that I can't pick up. Shall we consult our friend Cyclops?
Yeah.
And then see what Cyclops says. Okay, so here we go. Beer Gem by Bath Ales. Category Premium Ale. Yeah, interesting. ABV 4.1%. Now, I don't know about you, but my bottle says 4.8.
Yeah, maybe that's off. Maybe that's draft.
Yeah. Okay, so C, amber, copper. Yep. Smell, licorice, smoky, fruity.
I don't get the licorice. I do get a bit of a smoke though.
No, I'm not.
Now that this just reminded me, I had a kind of a personal revelation during the week.
Okay.
When it comes to people describing beer as fruity, I've come to the conclusion that somewhere in the world there is a beer fruit. And it's the only type of fruit that you can... The only place you can smell this or taste this fruit is in beer. Now, when people say beer tastes fruity, it's not that it tastes like fruit. It tastes like beer fruit. It's just the only place you can taste this particular fruit is in a glass of beer. So there you go.
And what would this particular sort of fruit look like?
Dunno, mate. A bottle of beer.
Okay.
But beer fruit. So yes, this tastes like beer fruit.
Shall we suggest to maybe ask anybody that's still listening to this show at this point, let us know what you think a beer fruit would look like.
Yeah.
You know, share it with us on Twitter. If you want to, draw it and share us a picture of your drawing.
There's a task for you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony Statham, draw us a beer fruit, mate.
Yeah, come on, number one fan, step up to the plate and let us know what the beer fruit looks like. Interesting revelation, Mark. Thanks for that.
The things I think about when I'm on the bus home.
Don't really know.
I should have shouted, "Eureka! Beer fruit!"
Where to go from here? Let's go back to Cyclops. The taste, tropical fruits. Would that be tropical beer fruits? Are there different types of beer fruits?
I don't know.
Are they like your standard good old English country garden beer fruit?
It all tastes like not just beer fruit to me, mate.
Tropical beer fruit, and there's beer fruit that's grown organically, and there's gluten-free beer fruit, and we could just keep going with this. It could be a new segment.
We need to trademark this.
Yeah. Anyway, the other tastes are hoppy and fresh, which I think we've already established.
Freshness is definitely there, yeah.
On the bitter scale, 2.5, and on the sweet scale, 4. So
that's 4 out of 10, isn't it? Or was it 4 out of 5?
That's out of 5.
See, I don't really consider this a very bitter beer compared to some of the ones we've had in the last few weeks.
Well, it's only 2.5, so that's actually lower than some.
No, sorry. Then I would agree with that. Sorry, it's the sweetness scale I was thinking of, because I wouldn't consider this a very sweet beer either.
There is a sweetness there.
There is.
Probably from the beer fruit.
Yeah.
And all the sugars that are in the beer fruit.
I just find it really easy to drink.
It's a really nice beer. It's a really nice beer.
I mean, I feel like saying there's like almost like a watery taste to it, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
There's like a softness to it, if you get what I mean. I'm going to go on one of my patented Mark tangents again.
Oh, here we go. Hold on to your hats, people.
But when you have a bottle of really nice filtered mineral water, right?
Oh, I think I know where you might be going with this. Go on.
And it doesn't have that kind of ceramic-y taste that filtered water often has.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the really pure, soft taste to it.
Just really crisp.
Yeah, that kind of crisp, mountainy water taste.
Yeah.
You know, freshly melted from the mountain snow.
Yeah,
Type softness to it.
It's the only water that will do when you've got morning after hangover beer mouth. It's yeah. I know exactly where you are with this.
It has a nice, soft, filtered taste to it. It doesn't taste watered down. I will say that. Excuse me.
No, yeah. Let's clarify that. By it tastes like water. That's not what you mean.
That's not, I don't. No, it's got one of those. Oh, see, this is why I would never be able to write the back label of a beer.
It tastes like water.
A nice watery taste, but not watered down.
Yeah.
It does taste like beer, honest.
Yeah,
No.
Great stuff. Let's go back and have another go. I'm actually taking my time a little bit this week. I'm getting a lot of sweet malts there. Just as you take it, and you get that initial taste, and it's lovely sweet malts, and leaves a real hint of hops in your mouth after, but not too overpowering even. I've got to say, this is my first Bath Ales, so I'm quite impressed by what I'm tasting.
It's very well balanced, isn't it? Just like last week's Hobgoblin.
Yeah, all the flavours work well together.
I'm trying to pick up something from the malts. Apart from just the malty taste.
Giving me a touch of wind this week, this is.
That'll be the bubbles.
Yeah. I'm getting that smell of toast again. I don't know what it is. Why do everything smell like toast?
No,
yeah, malty.
Yeah, malty. I can't pick up much more than just a malty.
Yeah, which is interesting because the last few weeks, last week with the Hobgoblin, we were getting a lot of those roasted malts coming through, and a few of the other beers we've done recently have maybe been a little bit more hoppy. Whereas it's been a while since we've done a malty beer. My mind casts me almost all the way back to the Waggle Dance episode when we last had a beer that had real malts in it.
Yep.
And coming through from it. It's a nice beer though, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'll drink this again.
Yeah. And this would actually make me want to explore the range of beers that they have on offer.
Yeah, so what else do they do? I was looking at the website, but I got distracted by us starting to record. Bath Ales have been going since 1995. They've got a section called Our Beers. It's got a picture of 3 bottles of Gem side by side.
Brilliant.
But let's see what... Okay, they've got Gem. They've got Barnsley, which is rich in fruit with hints of chocolate, which is a full-bodied dark ale. They've got Dark Side, which is roasted barley one. I've seen that around. Deep dark colour and smooth dry taste. They got the golden hair, which is...
I wonder what that'll be like.
That's a light ale.
Shock.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you need to get more imaginative with your beer titles, honestly. Stop using the word golden to describe golden beers.
Yeah. We've got forest hair, which is autumn fruits and a fresh, heady aroma. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Rare hair, which is a strong premium ale. Summer's hair, a light and hoppy beer, 3.9%. You'd probably like that one. Ginger hair.
Oh, no. I'm not drinking anything called ginger hair. Honestly.
Which is a spicy ale, another 3.9%. Bath Ales SPA, which is the Golden Special Pale Ale. That's only 3.7.
They've got quite a few then.
Golden Wild Hair, which is Golden Organic Pale Ale. Festivity, Bounders, and a Bradshaw's 1649. So there you go. They've got quite a few.
That's quite the selection of beer.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a really easy beer. Sometimes you get a beer and it actually becomes quite difficult to finish the pint.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point and you just think, this is hard going. But this has just slipped down as easy as anything. I was going to say something, but it would have pushed this week's rating through the roof.
Yeah, very gassy though.
Yeah,
It is putting the wind up me, that's for sure.
Brilliant.
Oh dear. I always like, again, I always go on about Untapped. We don't get paid by Untapped to promote their app, by the way. It's just really good fun.
Yeah.
But I've just tapped in the gem, and I always like seeing what the recommendations are, because they're usually beers I've never heard of and probably will never see. Newcastle Summer Ale, Betty Stoggs.
I've drunk Newcastle Summer Ale.
Is it nice?
It's it's kind of, I suppose, their take on it's their version of a golden ale. At least they've been more imaginative and not called it Newcastle Gold or something like that. Well done, lads.
Yeah. There's Betty Stoggs and Williams Red are the ones that it recommends based on this one.
Ooh,
So
talking of Untapped, I hit my 200 beers this
way!
week, and I got a badge.
Oh, cool.
So
it was worth it after all.
Worth the slog. And I'm now up to 203. Actually, I think this is 204 tonight now. So 204 distinct beers.
Very good.
Which I don't know if I should be proud of, or I don't know if I should be looking for help.
But what's the time scale on that? How long have you been tapping in?
I don't know. Can you find out how long you've been a member and that thing on there?
I don't know.
Maybe on the website. Let's see. While we're chatting, I'll have a look. Great beer.
Yeah. So fine filtered for quality.
That's obviously that crisp freshness that you're picking up.
Yeah. So you can visit Bath Ales on the web at www.bathales.com. Brewed and bottled by themselves, which is good to see.
Right, I've been a member of Untapped since the 6th of April 2012. So...
Right, so that's what? 6 months?
Is it only...
Yeah.
7 months next week.
7 months next week. You've managed to do 200 distinct beers.
204 distinct beers.
Distinct beers. That doesn't count however many hobgoblins you had last night.
385 beers in total.
That's the ones you bothered to tap in as well.
Yeah. I'm going to do some quick maths using a calculator. So... because this week's show is full of intriguing information like this.
What they should do is they should market this along with the Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes. Okay, so going on the amount of beers I've drunk in 7 months, 385, that means I'm drinking an average of 55 beers a month. Help.
Just over 10 a week.
Yeah, and then working on the 204 distinct beers, I've done 29 different beers a month. That's almost a beer a night.
Well, that's perfectly within...
For 7 months.
Your daily allowance, mate.
No wonder I'm not feeling so great at the moment. Roll on January. Roll on dry month.
Yeah, we are having potentially a dry month in January, if not before.
Forced into early retirement.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. But you are allowed 3 to 4... Well, I'll say you are allowed, like the government's going to come and knock on your door, but you never know. 3 to 4 units daily. This counts as 2.4 units. This 500ml bottle of Bath Ales Gem. I think the Innocent Gun bottles we downed over the last month or so kind of knocked a few of those units.
Yeah.
Units
Just
aside.
a few days in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up this review of the Bath Ales Gem, mate.
Yes.
I'm giving it 4 out of 5.
I concur, sir.
Yeah. It is a lovely beer. It is really nice, light, surprisingly light considering it's almost 5%. Eminently drinkable. I mean, I could happily sit out on a summer's day just getting pints of this served to me all afternoon.
Yep.
You know,
I
overlooking
do
the
not
fields.
disagree with you.
I mean, it's just really easy going, isn't it? It's really light on the palate. I mean, you can taste the filtered taste. You know, the filtered processes in there.
Yeah.
The taste just comes through. They don't get in the way of anything. Lovely.
In fact, I would very much like to request that this features as the festival beer at next year's Download Festival, please. As much as I like the Otter that was served last year, this would be a perfect festival beer.
This would, yeah.
You could drink this all weekend quite easily.
Definitely.
Yeah. So maybe we'll put in a specific tweet to a specific person this weekend. Suggest they listen to the show.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the last 5 minutes or so of it.
As a not long ex-lager drinker, I mean, this is the kind of beer I should have started off with.
Yeah.
You know, just really easy going, easy on the taste, easy on the malts. Not so easy on the gas.
That's a very gassy beer, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like the Cooper's Red, though, that I'm giving you on the weekend.
Oh, looking
That'll get the wind up
to that.
Yeah. You are going to be stunned by that beer, I tell you what. This pouring it is an experience.
Is it liable to try and creep into my top 5 all-time beers?
I don't know about that. It is really nice to drink. It is very smooth like this because of the gas in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the bubbliness. But just when you pour it, this is the Cooper Sparkling Ale, by the way, guys. When you pour it into the glass and you watch it, and just the amount of carbonation coming up, just amazing. And then you drink it, and it's really nice, drinkable beer.
Something you said there. Do you find that the more the bubble, the smoother the beer?
I think so, yeah.
Because that's interesting. Because the hobgoblin that I was drinking last night was, and to quote a guy that was stood next to me at the bar, it was as flat as a witch's tit. And I actually found it quite hard going to get through the pints of it.
Yeah.
I still managed to do a good few, but it was hard to drink it. I'm just wondering whether we could open up a new debate here, like we had that one previously, cold or warm.
Mm-hmm.
Fizzy or smooth? What's the preference of what makes or fizzy or flat? What makes the smoothest beer?
That is an interesting question. We'll throw that out to our Beer O'Clock listeners. Feedback to us what you reckon. Personally, I'm on the fizzy is smooth camp.
I'm on the. I'm going to sit right on the fence and say actually I like a little bit of carbonation, but too much can be hard going.
Oh, I agree. I wouldn't want really fizzy beers, otherwise I'd just drink lagers.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, if you want the fizz,
but
go back to being a lager boy.
having the slight carbonation in a beer like this one tonight, I found it helped.
Yeah.
Smooth it out, but you also had the smoothness in there anyway, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we've had plenty of nice drinkable beers that weren't bubbly at all.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of our review this week of the Bath Ales Gem. Lovely beer, 4 out of 5 from us both. Looking ahead to next week, what's your personal assignment for next week, Steve? Have you chosen yet?
I've not, and I'm not going to either, because I am going to wait until we meet up at the weekend, and I'm going to see what we come across in the pubs. And if there's a particular beer that I find, I'm actually going to do a review of a beer off tap rather than a bottled beer. Certainly, if we happen across that Avery 3.5 session ale again, if we find that again, I'll be reviewing that because that was a stunning beer. But if not, I'll probably do something else. So undecided at the moment.
In which case, I might follow your lead then. I'll put the Harvestone Bitter and Twisted off for a couple of weeks. And I'll just do what my mentor does this weekend. So this weekend we've got our tavern tour lined up with the Dragon and Flagon Pub Tour Company.
Woo!
Vic Norman, he's taking us around somewhere in London to a variety of taverns.
Yeah, he's not revealing the pubs that we're going to.
Really looking forward to it. He's got some stories to tell us, some good pubs to go to, beers to drink. Really looking forward to it. We're going to be recording throughout the afternoon when we remember to.
Those recordings could get progressively worse.
I'm really looking forward to that. We should get some good stories. Hopefully get a word with the Vic as well, so you guys can find out a bit more about his pub tours. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we've been speaking about. Not pub tours specifically, but kind of... what am I trying to say? Trying to work with the community, really.
Mixing it up a little.
Yeah, so we want to get in with like the independent pubs and stuff like that, and try and promote them and promote all these little beery things out there, not just beers. If you get
and I think Vic offers quite a range of tours as well. So. What's the tour that we're doing again? Do you remember off the top of your head?
No.
It's got a specific name.
Let me have a look on my email.
Yeah, I'm rapidly searching back through mine.
We will be doing the Jar and Marble tour.
Excellent.
According to an email from yourself.
Okay. Fantastic.
So you can go to londonpubtours.weebly.com, and you can see the variety of tours he's got there.
Yeah, he does 6 different tours. Public tours run twice a month, and he also does private tours upon request. So what we'll do after the weekend, we'll get some snaps of some of the pubs that we're in. We'll put an album up on the Facebook page, and we'll put a link to Vic's website as well, so if people want to actually explore the idea of doing one of these walk-in London pub tours, they'll be able to have a look and choose which one most suits them.
Indeed. So the tour we're doing starts off from Holborn Tube Station, skirts the edge of Theatreland and up to Museum before winding away through the heart of Bloomsbury. So that's not too great of a walk, thank goodness. We hear the stories of Mad King George, the British Museum, the Muffin Man, and why the statue of Eros is misnamed. So that's a good history-filled afternoon, yeah. And we're finishing off in Chancery Lane, which fortunately isn't a long walk back to Holborn.
Yes, probably for the best.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's it. Next week's going to be a very special episode. It's going to take a lot of editing. So thank goodness I'm doing the recording on Saturday, so I've got a few days to get through it. Yeah. Thanks very much, as always, Stephen.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure this evening.
Remember, folks, you can find us on Twitter at Beer O'Clock Show, Facebook.com/Beer O'Clock Show, Steve's on Twitter at mentalbentos, mentalbentos, and I'm at Roku, ROKKU. You can find us under those individual names on Untapped as well, so get into that. Add us as a friend, we'll add you back. I had a friend request from Stefano Bentos, one of our listeners, this week.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
G'day, Stefano. Or Stefan. I don't know. No offence. That's it. We're done. Episode 13's in the can. Episode 14 next week. The Jump the Shark episode.
And remember, folks, if you use the phrase beer fruit, that's down to Mark.
Yep. Beer fruit.
Yeah.
It is what is in every beer that people review. It's a key ingredient, beer fruit.
Yeah. Send in your pictures. We'll have a Tony Hart gallery type section.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Cheers.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.